Hi everyone, we're back with from the FanStands with another video. Today we're going to talk about the battle of the sixth position or potentially the fifth position between Arsenal and
The
Manchester
Red
United.
Devils.
So
I know they
Sheffield as
haven't
well.
really been
yeah,
looking
and
that
Sheffield,
way.
and Sheffield as well.
Fifth right
So
now.
Yeah.
so potentially fifth and sixth position battle that's going to happen this week. So first let's talk about the Sheffield United match.
In fact, you know what? Let's start with Arsenal.
Yeah,
You know,
because-
why not? Let's
Alright,
let's start with
Arsenal,
Arsenal and
Southampton.
Southampton.
I want to start with Arsenal because after what has transpired at North London club
Tottenham,
that
yeah.
Pochettino got the sack,
Exactly.
and
and Pochettino is being linked to Arsenal.
Yeah, and we were debating who would get the sack first. Will it be Pochettino or will it be Emery?
Yeah.
100%.
So, I mean, if I was Emery, I would be immensely under pressure going into this match.
Yeah, because he was the one performing even worse.
Yeah, I think he was performing worse than Spurs because at least he got to make a few signings, unlike Pochettino.
But sorry, continue.
Yeah, please continue. I think
No, continue.
nothing
Yeah,
to say at the moment.
I'm a very talkative guy, so don't really mind that.
That's
Yeah.
good. Match against Southampton at home.
For Arsenal.
For Arsenal, like every time I expect Arsenal to win at home and find. I think a win is on its way. They should win this one.
Yeah.
Southampton struggling relegation favorites, but
I hope not.
you don't know what to expect from Arsenal these days. I mean, when you when you have expectations from them, it doesn't take long for them to pull those expectations down. So this would only add pressure to Arsenal as well. That our rivals has made a change, and Mourinho was also linked to Arsenal
Yes.
a month ago, and we thought that personally that he might prefer Arsenal over Spurs. So it's already sending in alarming messages for Arsenal as well. But so let's see what happens. I
But I
don't
feel,
expect much changes from Emery, to be honest.
Yeah, but I feel read a few articles on this as well that the players which for Arsenal which were on international duty they did really well. So that form might come
No,
into the Arsenal.
actually I would argue with you on that one
yeah.
because international is totally different. I mean, if you talk about, sorry to bring in Liverpool again, and Andrew Robertson, very good left back in the Premier League, but when he plays for Scotland, it's not the same. And you can say this for a lot of other players as well. Depends on the national team. I mean, which team they
If
play
you look
for.
at
I mean,
Messi.
Yeah, that's very controversial. if you talk about Xhaka, he scored for Switzerland,
Yeah.
but I don't see him playing for Arsenal anymore after
Yeah.
what happened between him and the fans in the Palace match.
Weird point though. I love that name, Jaka.
All right, and so you guys are
But yeah, as in,
you guys are really writing off Southampton. Or?
No, in fact, I'm not. I'm going to answer that question of yours first. The point that you made about players going into the international break, playing for their country really well. Now, see, that's the issue with Arsenal at the moment. Arsenal doesn't necessarily have bad players in there.
They don't.
They've got very decent players, to be very frank. As in, they've got a striker to the likes of Aubameyang, who
And
is
Lacazette.
and Lacazette, obviously, who are brilliant players. They've got
Absolutely.
Ozil. Yes, he's old, but he's a brilliant playmaker.
Yeah,
So
and
my point is that
Pepe, their record signing. this
exactly.
season.
So my point is that at the end of the day, honestly speaking, it's more about the mood. It's more about how the manager motivates them, how the manager pushes in or instills that kind of hunger into the players for them to actually go out and play. Plus, it's also about the tactics that they're playing with. It's about the team selection. On
gelling with the other team.
exactly
members
on
as well.
game day. Plus, when you're talking about international, who are they possibly up against? You need to see that first. Secondly, you're talking about something that's very personal. It's patriotism that hits in.
How strong is the national team? That is also
Exactly.
different.
Exactly.
I mean,
But that confidence does come into
no,
True.
it does, but not to a lot of extent. I mean, different competition, different sort of pressure. Club football has a different. You go with a different mind frame,
Agreed.
and when you play international game, it's totally different.
It's very different.
I mean,
Agreed.
I can be a very good player for my club, but my country might be a very low-ranked team, and I know I'm not
Agreed.
even going to make it to the finals of Euros or World Cup or whatever tournament I'm playing in. So
Exactly.
it depends. But sorry to interrupt.
No,
I mean,
no.
when you talk about Emery, the problem is this is his second season. He's going into. I mean, it's almost
One and a half.
It's almost a half of the season has gone by. what has he done? I mean, Aubameyang, world class. We already know he's a goal scorer. Lacazette, one of the hot properties in Europe. The problem is he has attitude issues and inconsistent.
Yeah.
And Ozil, he has a
work rate problem.
But apart from that, he doesn't have a good relationship with Ozil.
Yeah, there's something politically wrong with them.
He's lost the fans. He's lost the vote of confidence from the fans. So,
Yeah.
what has he done? I mean, after one season, you expect improvement. And whether you're talking about the game style of Arsenal, or talking about the tactics, or even talking about the mood the players are in, I mean, doesn't show any progress or improvement.
Exactly,
So,
because
about the match.
Even if you look at Chelsea or even United for that matter, they both are in transition, to be very frank. But yeah, I didn't mean to say Frank as in Frank Lampard, but yeah, as in to be frank, as in they're sort of in the same position. But when you're talking about Arsenal, you look at those two clubs, you see them going somewhere. United may have lost against possibly Bournemouth. Chelsea may not be performing very well against the big teams, but you see them going somewhere. You see progress. You see players improving. You see the style of football changing, becoming exciting. They're a pleasure to watch. But when you go to Arsenal, there's nothing positive about Arsenal at the moment. In fact, I feel that the mere contrast, when you're talking about the Arsenal versus Southampton game, I feel this is going to be a tricky one again as well, because I'm not exactly sold on, the thought that Arsenal would go there and probably win the game, because there's a lot of pressure on Emery at the moment. Possibly a few weeks back, we were talking about Poch. Poch getting the sack would probably bring a lot of pressure on Ole. But right now, the situation is very different. Even if you look at Sky Sports, Rashford came on Sky Sports for an interview, and he was defending the manager, and he actually, the hunger that he exhibited in that video, told you about what was going on in the helm at United.
We haven't had anyone coming to defend Emery, and on
Exactly.
the icing on the cake for fans who want Emery out is Aubameyang
Exactly.
Yeah.
supporting the
Liking-
criticism on
Ex-
social media
Yes.
against the club
Exactly,
or the
exactly,
manager.
exactly. So I see that he's under a lot of pressure at the moment,
Yeah.
because Poch is wide open and
Wide open.
available at the moment, and Emery needs to prove himself one way or the other. If he would have had the dressing room on his side, things would have been very different.
Definitely. I mean, if you're playing, it's clear. We've been watching football for a long time. You can make out if the players are actually playing for the manager or not. And I think
They're not.
dressing room unrest again at Arsenal, but I still think they're going to win this match. I mean, they have to,
What about you?
save grace, and they will try to go out and win this one. So Southampton struggling team, I'll give some,
They're in the relegation zone as well.
I feel like they
think
probably.
Arsenal might get a win.
I don't see a win on the cards, as in the realist
Another
in me.
draw.
The realist in me.
Another draw. They've got a good streak of draws going on.
The realist in me tells me that they're possibly going to draw. That's the gut feeling. But the United fan in me tells me that they should lose.
So that United can move up.
Either way, I expect if it's a draw or a loss, it's going to be in the end of Emery. Adios.
All right. So
For sure.
No more good evening now.
No, yeah,
Then.
but you shouldn't make fun of that.
Good.
I'm going to miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So let's move on to the other match.
Sheffield versus
Sheffield's been the
United.
surprise of the
United.
season this year. This year they've been the surprise package. They're
Definitely.
they've
And
considered the second.
Underdog philanthropist.
Yes.
Support the underdog.
Yes,
Yeah,
support the
supports
underdog.
the underdog.
Thinks Leicester will win the league.
So
Definitely.
at the start of the fan stands, he was a United fan.
I still am.
Then he became a Leicester fan. Then
He is
he
a
became
Leicester
a Crystal Palace fan. So he keeps on.
Yeah. Let's stick to the program. Let's stick to the program, please. So coming back to the match, the Sheffield versus United match. Sheffield's been the surprise of the season. They've conceded the second least number of goals, although they don't score, but they don't concede at all, and that's why they're still fifth in the
they get
table.
the job done. I mean,
They even gave a scare to Tottenham last
They
week.
did, and they should have won that match if it wasn't for the VAR. But
Yeah.
coming to
Whether
the
United-
upcoming match against United at home,
Hmm.
they've been very resilient and have a very good defense. Lundstrom has been absolutely magnificent at the back, and a lot of people know about him because he's often in everyone's fantasy team.
Yeah.
And that is how I got to hear about him, and I decided that I should have a look at Sheffield United's matches and games. I expect Sheffield to cause another upset, maybe either in form of a draw or a win. And see, Hassan, regardless they're fifth right now, even if they end up 14th, the only achievement when the only objective you have when you are promoted
Is to
in the
survive.
Premier League is to just survive. In Sheffield United, they've always been promoted and they always end up going back in the Championship right after when they're promoted. So this time, I believe Chris Wilder is going to make sure that Sheffield does stay up, and I want them to stay up because they've been absolutely amazing this season.
God,
So-
you're awful. You
so-
want them to stay up.
So
honestly.
what do you think? United
Well,
has been
honest-
scoring really well.
On a serious note,
Against a very
yeah,
good defense.
exactly. On a serious note, I understand that United has had a lot of problems. Breaking down teams that go and sit
Bournemouth was
back
an example.
and
especially
are hard to break through.
Playing away from home.
But when you're talking about Bournemouth, to our surprise, or on the contrast, they came out of the Bournemouth loss. They played against Partizan, and they played again against Brighton. We had Martial coming into the team. All of those things happening. You saw a very different United for 2 games. They were faster up front. They were linking play in the final third. They've been very solid in terms of their midfield with McTominay there. Yes, we're going to be missing McTominay, but point with McTominay is that he was seen on the training ground. He was training with the team, so McTominay could just end up playing the game. But my point is that obviously United is in a very different zone at the moment. Spirits are high. Players went into the international break. They're obviously going to look to win this game. Poch is free. There's a lot of pressure on Ole as well, as that
Yeah.
never goes out of the window.
A couple of fans are saying, sign up, give Ole the season, then.
As in the percentage of those players.
I said a couple.
Very less.
See,
I did
it's
say a
very
couple.
less. So that's the noise that's always gonna be there. Even if you possibly bring Pep Guardiola in after a loss, they're always gonna say stuff like this. So my point is that with Ole being there, he does have pressure on him. But at the same time, I see spirits to be very high. Rashford has had a very good international break. And I feel that, they're possibly going to win this. It's not going to be easy. Yes, I agree. It's never going to be easy. But I see them, possibly coming through with a win. Because, again, you need to realize that a win here could possibly mean that they climb on to 6th position, or if Arsenal loses, then they possibly take the 5th position. Because if moving forward, if you would have asked me last week, I would have said that Tottenham coming in, United may just win that. But now that Mourinho is there and Mourinho understands most of the players in and out, I feel that Tottenham coming into United will not be an easy game at all. And then United goes against City. So those are 2 points. The realist in me automatically, thinks of, the fact that, United has lost those points already. So my point is this will be very essential, and I feel that they will go on and give their best onto the field. The only thing is if McTominay doesn't play, then Matic does. We do lose out on a bit of pace. But again, Matic has that experience that he brings.
But it does open up defensive problems.
By the way, we're really sorry for the cell phone ringing in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, as in we can't do much about it.
Yeah.
But sorry to interrupt, but don't you think McTominay, it's good to rest him rather than, play him again, so to avoid him being plagued by any long-term injury?
Yeah, definitely, because that's the thing that we were discussing the other day with Mo Salah as well. The manager has to manage the players, because the player, there are players who want to play every game. It's the manager's job, to select the right team at the right time to give them the longevity.
I think he should. He's been absolutely pivotal in that midfield along with
and he
Fred
needs his rest.
since our Liverpool match. I think it's good that if he has some injury concerns, yes, he's training, but he should be rested. He should come from the bench at least. I mean, play someone else, and if you feel that the game is not going your way, then bring in McTominay.
Yeah, and also, I guess this is a good opportunity for De Gea to, score a clean sheet as well in the league.
It will be difficult.
Come on, man. You talk about De Gea as if he's been awfully bad. He's never been awfully
I'm not
bad.
saying, but he still has
to
the
agree
gap.
with you on that one. I think the goalkeeper is
Yeah.
as good as the defenders.
Exactly,
Yeah, so, but it's still an opportunity.
It's an opportunity, but do not underestimate Sheffield again. I mean,
Exactly.
don't be surprised if Sheffield wins or draw. I mean, I'm not saying they will. It can happen. I mean, United is a team in transition, and it's interesting. I want to see if Oli goes with the same attack-minded
He's definitely
tactics
going for a
like
4-2-3-1,
he did
yeah.
at Old Trafford. He's sort of a different manager when going away. So is this a fixture where United can pick themselves up and start winning matches away from
100%,
home as well?
100%.
One more thing. What do you think? Who's going to play instead of McTominay?
I just said that,
You said
the
Matic.
only...
Do you think another news? I think Luke Shaw is fit again.
Yeah, Luke Shaw's available. Diego Dalot is available.
Does Luke Shaw walk into that first team, or has Brandon Williams stamped a mark on that left hand side?
The kind of precedent that Ole set already into the team is that he wants his players to work for a position. He's brought in that competition for every position.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that Luke Shaw is not gonna walk into a possible position for him in the team. Plus, if you look at Luke Shaw's been very injury prone.
Yeah, he has.
So I feel that Ole is because we're going to be hitting a very busy period, and then obviously the Europa is going to start as well. The FA is going to be running simultaneously. So we have a lot of games to play. So I'm sure that Ole is going to be looking towards maintaining that depth and possibly having a second option, a second promising option other than possibly Ashley Young. I'm sorry, but
he doesn't like Ashley Young at all.
He's pretty.
He's
old
not young
now.
anymore.
No,
He's not
young.
He's
not
a
young
forced left back, as in he's not that player that
Start off as an attack.
Exactly, if you're playing on possibly on the wings a bit farther up into the pitch, I'd still let him go and play. But
roll on that.
Exactly.
That defense.
Exactly. So my point is that when you're talking about Luke Shaw, I feel that he's definitely going to be on the bench. Diego Dalot, I don't know, because Aaron Wan-Bissaka has definitely stamped his position.
Should start with Wan-Bissaka.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the only entrance that I feel could be there would be Matic, or if he feels he wants to have a very pacey game, then I feel that he's going to push Pereira back into a little deeper back, and he's going to introduce either Lingard, who's not in form, but Mata would be a better
I'd
option
go for
up front.
Mata.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because they need to break down,
That's a good player.
and they need to break down. They need creativity to break down Sheffield.
Sheffield's
But
very
again,
good at
when
that.
we're talking about being very pacey up front, Mata, he's a very good playmaker. I love how he plays, even with Partizan. You saw him pulling the strings, and you saw him, pretty much doing the whole link up play thing. But I feel that with Mata comes an issue that again he's also old. Plus, he's not exactly a very pacey player.
You need experience for this. Again, I don't know what Chelsea or Mourinho was thinking when they sold Mata to United.
Yeah.
I
And then he liked Mata.
I mean, he was the player of the season before, and they sold him to United. So
Yeah.
Again, that's
gain for
what,
United, loss for Chelsea. Excellent player.
that's probably the collateral damage that comes with Mourinho as well.
That is no problem.
A lot of good players do go, like De Bruyne as well.
Yeah.
Lukaku, all of these
De
players.
Bruyne, he let them go.
So
Yeah.
Mo
So-
Salah as well.
So
yeah, Mo Salah.
yeah. So your scoreline prediction?
So since again I do agree with what Mohsen said, and I'm a United fan, I'm gonna try being a loyalist. I'd go for a 2-win win to United. 2-1, sorry.
2-1.
2-win.
2-1.
I'd go with the draw.
You go with the draw. I'd go 1 because United is going to score and not going to.
Goalless.
So terribly desperate for
Can be
United to win.
goalless,
I actually
Yeah.
said 2-win.
I'd say a 1-0 win to United.
Well, I can understand where coming from. Away matches something you need to win.
100%.
At least get closer to that top 4. If you're
Yeah.
not in the top 4, you at least want to maintain
Agreed.
something. Just play for pride. The league is gone, but you need to maintain a
Agreed.
position.
Yeah, and be within reach if one of the top
Yeah,
four.
within reach. I mean, any one of the top 4 can slip up.
Yeah, because as you guys are, really pulling my leg on, Leicester is going to slip
Plus,
up.
even though Sheffield would possibly be sitting back, but
They will.
United has a lot of pace up front.
They will. So let's see how it pans out, and we'll see, and we'll analyze Sheffield in a much better way.
And I hope United wins.
Yeah.
Sheffield or United, Manchester.
Manchester United.
The Red Devils.
Both are United.
All right. So thank you everyone. I guess this is it for the video. Do remember to like and share our video,
I will.
and also subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe and Manchester United fans. I know it's early. Any changes happening in the upcoming transfer window? Any rumors you've heard of? Anything you want us to discuss? We will soon make a video and discuss about the possible rumors coming in regarding
Or a
the transfer.
tour to Norway, possibly.
Yeah.
To see a
And-
Norwegian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
But I
Norwegian
think
nights.
there was a report today that he was out there on testing for Arsenal.
Who?
Haaland.
No.
Yeah, just
I
today.
haven't
What
heard of it,
source-
but
what
source?
Just today. I read
What
it
source
just
is
today.
that?
I don't know about that.
So
Talk
basically,
about it.
another big thing about Hassan is that he reads all the tabloids out there as well.
And he believes in the Sun.
he possibly even believe Cosmopolitan writing about soccer.
Yeah. So
Liverpool fan, he supports the Sun.
yeah. So also tell us about what do you think about Emery and whether Arsenal can one up Southampton this
They
week
will.
or not,
They will.
and whether Pochettino can come to Arsenal and replacing Emery.
Let's see. I'm
That's
ready
a
for
big
this. This is very
possibility, to
much
be very
awaited
honest.
game week 13. A lot of
Yeah,
There was-
especially a gap.
The
in
funny
between.
thing is, before we finished the video, I mean, till Tuesday we were saying nothing is going on after the international break.
Yeah,
and
just one night.
boom, a lot
That's
of
the
things
thing
happen.
that Judas brings with him: intensity.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
That's why I love football.
I love Mourinho.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Love
Bye bye.
it.